Hey everybody, Kevin here once again from the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today YouTube channel, and today we are going to be doing a review on the new Fever 333 album, Strength in Numbers. Alright, so here's how this video is going to go. First, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the band, just kind of what they've been up to recently, up to this album. Then we're going to go through each song on the album, one by one, talking about stylistically, how it fits, what it sounds like, if we like it, if we don't like it. At the end, we will go and give the album as a whole a review on the scale of 0 to 10. We'll rate them that way, 0 being the worst, 10 being the best, and of course give you our reasoning why. Enough with that, let's get on into it. The Fever 333 hit the scene hard in 2018 with Made in America, their first album, and it was something that people weren't expecting, but people really enjoyed. What they did was they brought in this rap, rock, punk rock, hard rock style that was pretty vacant up until this point, and all their music was very politically charged. This was something that gave them the designation as the modern-day Rage Against the Machine. Now, in their second album, Strength in Numbers, when we listened to it the first time through, the first thing I thought was that comparison and that name is justified as the modern-day Rage Against the Machine. That has been left alone since Rage Against the Machine really came off the map and hasn't really seen anything like it since. This is the closest thing we have to it. Their politically charged songs are very prevalent, and I get it. I do enjoy punk rock myself. My favorite band is a punk rock band, and they get very political as well. However, I think the Fever 333 so far with all of their songs have gone more blatantly political, and that's something that they've actually a strength of theirs. They're using it to their advantage. So, let's take a look at Strength in Numbers as a whole. The intro into the album is something where you hear a crowd gathering and you hear them all chanting 333, 333, which is something that's like, okay, and you hear a newscaster kind of talking about how diverse the crowd is, about their difference of gender, sex, race, religion, of all these people coming together, and I'm like, okay, this really puts in the forefront that political chargedness of the album, and it starts to really pick up the pace as the intro goes on. It's only about a minute-ish, but it really gets you amped up for the rest of the album, and then we actually get into the music. Burn It was the lead single off of this album. Now, I was listening to it, and when it comes in, the beginning, that intro, it's very pulse-pounding. It's very big, energy-driven. I don't know how else to put it. It's very energy-driven. And then the guitar comes in, and we get to the whole rest of the song, and it just is this, oh my god, pulse-pounding, hard-hitting song. The rapping done on it is not overdone, and it is just hard, and it is good. The chorus is very hard and very clearly done, and wow, I don't know what else to say about it. This is just a great song. It was a great song to pick as their single. It is very politically recharged, going against the establishment, of course, but man, does this song just get you amped up. If you're like at the gym or something, you need to get amped up, listen to Burn It. If you're going into a job interview and you just want to kill it, listen to Burn It. You will get amped up like none other. Trust me on this. Honestly, trust me. Animal ended up being a much more rapid song here, especially with the pace and the way the guitar was played off here. Plus, in the verse, we had a lot more of a rap style, but the rap style also was kind of mixing with actual singing, which is something that I think was really warranted on by Rage Against the Machine. That comparison holds up here, and I really did like it. The best part about this song was the flow, especially when you got to the chorus. It sounded like something that was very reminiscent to 3 Days Grace, but I'm talking about 3 Days Grace with their new lead singer, Matt Walsh, and kind of the flow they had on the outside, or kind of like The Mountain in a way, but not the Adam Gontier version or the Adam Gontier style of 3 Days Grace, which I'm absolutely a fan of. However, I think it actually played very well here. It is very stylistically just a different than what they had been doing, but it fits so well here. It's a great put together song. It meshes really well with itself. I don't know how else to put it. I'm sorry if I'm babbling on, but this song is a good song. I really enjoyed listening to it, and I thought, man, this is a good one. I'm a big fan of this. Of course, it's also politically charged, being kept down in a situation that you were given through from birth, basically where you lived, or, you know, how you were born, that kind of stuff. It's, again, politically charged. It really puts forward that Rage Against the Machine comparison, which I think is, again, well warranted. Pray For Me /3 is my favorite song on Strength in Numbers, and this is why. When I listen to the song, in the verses, in the first half of the song, because it is a 5-minute song, the verse is very Rage Against the Machine, like with that rap style and just hard-hitting sound. When we get to the chorus, though, I couldn't believe it because the singing was really nicely done on it, but the style of music instrumentally was something that I was very in tune with because it reminded me of Black Veil Brides, which is a very weird comparison, but it hits here. It's done so well, and it just flows fantastically with a faster pace. All of a sudden, the song cuts in the second half where it gets more electronic techy, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Then they go into this full-on metalcore sound, and it is utterly fantastic. I don't know how else to put it. There's only one knock I have on this song, and man, I wish they would have split it down the middle when that first half ends and that second half begins, put them into 2 different songs, because you would have had 2 killer tracks on here, and instead of one track that, you know, you have 2 parts that are both killer. They could have stood well enough on their own. One of us had an intro that was very interesting to me because it sounded like there were little kids chanting for the intro, which I thought, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I'm enjoying this. Now, there was a heavy political message in this one talking about bringing minorities up, and yes, I do get it. I do agree with it. However, it's coming to a point where at this point in the album, the blatantly politicalness of the album is really starting to wear on me at this point. This is where I'm really starting to feel it, and I just like, it's just kind of starting to bring me down a little bit just because I'm constantly just, you know, being drilled with it. I do like when bands go and do that, but I think at this point now I'm starting to get a little bit tired of it. I do like the song though as it's put together because the verses are very Rage Against the Machine-like, the chorus is very metalcore in its own right, and it's a good mixture. The Fever 333, when it comes to mixing their verse and their choruses with different styles, more like Rage Against the Machine in the verses, and if they're going to go hard rock or metalcore or just full punk rock in their chorus, I do enjoy that experimentation that they're doing. They're playing it very well here. It's just that at times, you know, when you're just going to hammer someone with that your political view, at times it just starts to kind of drain on you. It's just like, okay, you know, can we just get a little bit off topic? Maybe not be as blatantly out there? Come on, guys. That's just kind of where I'm at with this point. Inglewood /3 is easily the most blatant and in-your-face political song on this album. The band really dives into racism and just hits you hard with it. And like I said earlier, at this point, I'm starting to get a little tired of just the blatantly out there-ness of it, and I'd rather have them, you know, maybe mix it up a little bit, maybe be a little more subtle about it, but then again, that's just where my tastes are right now. This is making sure that they are hitting that comparison to Rage Against the Machine hard, and I don't know any way else to describe it, honestly. That's just the way it is. When you listen to the song in the first half, because again, it is a long song, it has that Papa Roach falling in reverse feel to it, honestly, when it comes stylistically, along with influences from Rage Against the Machine. The second half of the album, it gets techie again, kind of like Pray For Me did, but unlike Pray For Me, when you get into that second half after the techie part, what happens is you get a much slower melodic version of what Pray For Me had in that metalcore sense. I do like the song, I like how it mixes those styles, but I'm just starting to get a little tired with the politicalness of it as this album is going on, because again, I listened to it a couple of times, and this is the point where I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit sick of it. The Innocent is a song that takes that fast-paced style that the Fever 333 has put forward in this album thus far and kind of slows it down a little bit and puts it maybe in a little bit of a heavier tone. When I listened to it, I thought they basically had a slower but heavier version of what Testify and Guerrilla Radio were for Rage Against the Machine. And they did also bring in that Black Veil Brides-esque style in the chorus, which is something I really liked, and I really like this song. If I could, again, just block out the blatant politicalness of it. Again, they went more political with the shootings of innocent people, which, of course, I understand why you went with that. It's, again, like I said earlier, I'm just kind of getting it bombarded at me right now, and I'm just starting to feel a little tired of it, and now I'm really getting tired of it. I'm not knocking anyone's political affiliation at this point. Just what I'm saying is I've seen other bands do stuff like this, and it just kind of wears on you as the album goes on. It just kind of just tires you out, in all honesty. Out of Control 3 brings a much heavier and rap-centric style to the verses here, which was kind of something I wasn't expecting, but then when you get to the chorus, it changes it up completely where they go more metalcore, but kind of grindcore in a way where they have that heavy metalcore sound, but the vocals are at a higher pitch. And I thought, you know what? That's actually a great contrast to bring in here. It was really pleasing to my ears. I really did enjoy it. The breakdown was very heavily charged, and it just hit well. You went to the second half of the album, which was a lot more melodic than the other two ones that kind of had that split here, were very much in on. And I'm like, you know what? This song sounds really well when it comes to the mixture of styles. But, of course, I'm going to have to say it again. The political message behind this one was bringing down the high society and kind of making everyone more equal, which, again, I got to say it, this is the point where I thought I'm going to have to actually turn off this album, because I'm just getting exhausted listening to the whole entire thing just based on the heavy politicalness of it. It's just something that's really just bringing it out of me. I can't really explain it other than that, but it's just really getting at me right now. Am I Here was a much slower song and had a more ballady feel to it than any other song on this record. And man, I really like this change up. When I heard of it, I thought, where have I heard this kind of style before? And it reminded me a lot of something that 10 Years would do with a much slower song like they have. Think Fix Me. That might be a great comparison for this one. When I listen to it, they really let their lead singer's vocals just go out there. And actually, instead of being more rap and heaviness on the vocals, he's just singing, and it's something that's really well done here. This was the song that really brought me back into the album after Out of Control sent me, well, out of control with this album. This song was less politically charged. It seemed like it was more about a breakup than a political thing, and I thought, you know what? I'm actually liking the fact that they did this, because now the album doesn't seem as stale like it did. And as much as I've been enjoying the instrumentation and the mixture and the experimentation and all that, and with the vocal range, this is one that really brought it back to me, and I thought, man, that's a good song. Coupe de Talk was definitely the last song on the album, and it was, man, was it heavily politically charged. It took shots at Donald Trump, of course, and when I listened to it, I thought, well, of course it did. You know, that's what you're going to put at the end of your song. But it was something that was a little bit different, because this is the one where if you're going to put a comparison of the Fever 333 and Rage Against the Machine together, this is the song to do it. They took so much of their influence and put it into this song. It is utterly ridiculous. That's something I actually was a very big fan of, and when it came to their political message in this song, I actually did enjoy how they did it in this one, and I think it was because of the kind of breakup that we had in the previous song. It kind of just brought me back up into the song. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm actually really enjoying this. At the end, you hear the band kind of, it sounds like they're talking to the crowd, and they get very political with it, which, of course, it's a good end to this album based on the fact that that's how the album was throughout the whole entire thing. You're going to end it that way, and I totally understand. All right, time for my rating on the album, and I'm going to give Strength in Numbers an 8 out of 10. Strength in Numbers is a politically charged behemoth of an album, and it is, again, perfect timing for it to come out in the middle of the Donald Trump presidency for what it was going after. When it came to the album, when it came to their style, when it came to the Fever 333's instrumentation, wow, I love the way they constructed almost all of these songs. They took influences from Rage Against the Machine heavily, and their comparison to them as the modern day Rage Against the Machine is well warranted here. I think they take that mantle. I think they're going to run with it at least for the next 10 years. The styles that they worked with, you know, the metalcore sound, the punk rock sound, that hardcore sound, they experimented with it real well, and there's a lot of songs I like, and especially Pray For Me and Burn It. Those are some really good songs when it came to their instrumentation. The one knock I really have on this album is the fact that it was so politically in your face that it made me lose sight of the sounds of the songs and how they were actually constructed, and got me exhausted as I was listening to the album. Now, granted, I actually do enjoy when bands get political as well, but I like it when bands get political and they put out those songs that sometimes they can be just blatantly in your face, but there are other times when they kind of mix it up in the album here and there, where they go with a more subtle sound to their politics and more subtle sound to their political ideas, or they kind of mix it up in there more with like, okay, we're going to put this song in here that's maybe not necessarily politically charged, but it makes sense. I am a punk rock fan, and I love when bands actually do something like that. If you want an example of what I mean, Rise Against, when they came out with Wolves, is the best example, because there are politically charged songs in there like Wolves, The Violence, Bullshit, How Many Walls, but then there are other songs on there that I listen to continuously, like House on Fire, Far From Perfect, and Miracle, which are not necessarily as politically charged, or maybe a little bit, way less or subtle, and it fits fantastically on there. It creates that great flow. I get that when it comes to the Fever 333 and that Rage Against the Machine comparison, man, does it just really work with that kind of style of music. Again, that's not necessarily something that I enjoy all the time, and this album did get exhaustive as it went on due to its blatant politicalness, but as I put that aside when I was coming up with the rating, I thought, let's listen to music mostly, let's take a look at that and really pin it on that, and they hit it out of the park. However, again, because it's a whole album, I gotta bring in that influence, so that's why it's getting an 8 out of 10. Alright, that's it for me. Thank you for watching the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today album review on Strength in Numbers by the Fever 333. If you think we did a good job in this review, give us a like. If you're just thinking, hey, this is not right at all, give us a dislike. And either if you give us a like or a dislike, tell us why in the comment section below, because I read them, I'll look at them, I'll respond, and we can talk about this stuff. If you want to stay up to date with all of our videos, and you're going to think, you know what, I want to watch these. We come out with new videos every single Wednesday. You want to stay up to date? We've got that subscribe button you're going to want to hit and the bell icon, because then you'll get a notification every time we release a video. If you are not following us on our social media platforms, oh my lord, what are you doing? We put out killer content on that all the time. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to our Facebook page and like it. I want you to go to our Twitter account and go follow it. I want you to go to our Instagram page and follow that as well. I have links in the description below to all of those pages, and I also have a link in the description below to my Twitter page, so you can come and talk to me personally as well. Either positive, thinking, hey, this is great, or negative, like, oh, you got it wrong. Still, let's talk. I'm always open to talking. Lastly, and most importantly, if you have an Amazon Alexa and you are not subscribed to the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today Alexa skill, what are you doing? We put out a new song of the day every single day that you're going to enjoy, because we put out all different bands from that time period that fit in that rock music genre, and we never get stale. So if you don't have it, here's what I want you to do. If you're watching this video on your phone, go to the link in the description below and click on it. It'll open up your Amazon Alexa app, and you can hit enable skill, and it'll be on your device. Or you can go to your Amazon Alexa and say, hey Alexa, enable My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today Alexa skill. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to be enabled on your device. When you've done either of those two, then say, hey Alexa, play my song of the day. Alexa will then say, playing your song of the day. You'll get a 5-second intro from me about what day it is in regards to the song. I'll tell you what the song is, who the artist is, and then we're going to play the song in its entirety. Once it's over, boom, that's it. You want to listen to it again? Ask it to play your song of the day once again. If you don't want to listen to it anymore, you don't have to. Wait till the next day. I'll put a new song out there the next day, and you'll be able to enjoy it. So please, 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 please enable that on your device. Subscribe to it. Whatever you got to do to it. It would mean so much to me. Please do that. And then that's going to be it for me. Thanks, guys. This is Kevin from the My Song of the Day Rock 2000 to Today YouTube channel. I end all these videos with my classic, see ya!